And welcome everybody to the next episode of Elite Perspectives. I'm Jeremy Funderburg, one of the co-founders of the Elite Minds Marketing Agency. And it's really cool. I got an incredible speaker for you guys today. As you know, the purpose of this show is to always bring you guys the industry elites. I had to bring you somebody in power, and I couldn't have anybody better for you guys today. I hope you guys got a notebook. I hope you guys got a pen, a ton of ink, a ton of paper. Be ready to take some notes. I got Oh My Dr.O coffee. And I would say in the building, but two separate buildings, but you guys get the point. So I'm actually not even going to try to introduce her. I'm not going to ruin her shine. I'm going to let her introduce herself. So Dr. O, tell these people who you are.
Thank you, Jeremy. And I'm so excited for Elite Perspectives. It's time that we definitely start sharing our perspectives without judgment, without, equivocation as well, right? So one thing that I wanted to do is a check-in. And I was telling Jeremy that I always do this when we deal with our youth. My name is Dr. O My Coffee. I'm based in Dallas, Texas, and I'm the founder and president of an organization called the Board of Literacy. And our entire mission is to advance the financial quotient of our youth. And so as we're advancing that, it's our role to kind of figure out where they really are. And the same thing goes for adults. So it's called a check-in. It's really brief. I'm going to do it with Jeremy. He's going to be my student today. And as we do the check-in, I definitely want you to, do what he said. Typically, you'll have a checkbook in front of you. They think checks are obsolete, but there's a really cool trick that we do with checks, and just kind of check in with each other with a real check. So Jeremy, you'll do it in your mind, of course, unless you have a pen and paper. But basically, you're writing yourself a check. This is how we, look at you. This is how we do a check-in, right? So at the top, you write your name and your address. So typically I tell people to write their business name or a goal of a career that they'd like to do. I used to job shame people, but jobs are amazing as long as you're doing it at the level that you want to do it in. And so you'll write your job or your job title or your business at the top with, whatever address. If you want to live in Spain, if you want to live, well, right now, no one knows where they want to live because of this coronavirus, but still you have some dream things that you want to put. So this is an opportunity to check in with your dreams, right? So you'll write that at the top. Over there on the left, you'll put the date, today's date, March 28th, 2020. And then you are going to go down on that line and you're going to put your amount of your check. Now, this is where it gets tricky. It's your check. It's not mine. So I couldn't tell you what to put, why to put it. So put the amount that you feel that you want the check to be. At the bottom, you'll put what it's for. And then the most important aspect of any check is your signature. What's your signature? Is it your name? Is it your legacy? Is it your career? I like my name. My name is my signature. I just use Oh My Coffee, right? So once you fill out your check, it shouldn't take no more than a second. And the only reason why I say this is because you and it's your check. And you make it out to, yourself or your company or where you want it to go. That's it. And so Jeremy on the check-in is going to check in. See how easy that was?
We got it. I hope you guys are doing this at home. And I can already tell this is going to be amazing.
Yeah, so this is how I introduce myself, and this is how I know who I'm talking to. So Jeremy, as you've done that, do you mind telling us what's on your check? What you can tell us? Because sometimes people don't want to say, and sometimes people say too much. So if you want to share, do you mind sharing what's on your check? And I'll share mine.
All right, for sure. So we have the Elite Minds Marketing LLC on the check. We have today's date. Of course, I have to be in Charlotte, North Carolina. This is my home. I love it. Granted, the living situation will change to a high-end penthouse, but this is definitely a $10 million check written to me for life living, because I personally believe that $10 million should be a target for somebody that's trying to sustain themselves for the long run.
Oh, See how he just quickly checked in? He introduced himself. He told you his dreams. He told you his passion. He also told you what he was targeting. So now you know where he's headed. You can help him better. You can guide him better. You can instruct him better. You can join forces with him better. And you know that if you come with a $5 million check, that you're halfway there. So he better treat you proper, right? So the whole thing is that when we do a check-in, and we're introducing ourselves, I just like to get to kind of know you from the perspective of how you see yourself. That's really what this is about, elite perspective, right? And that's his elite perspective of himself. I just used my program check-in. My check-in is what it's called. And that's it. We just join forces really quickly. So I'm going to do the same. And that way the audience gets to know me and know who's this lady over there smiling with that red lipstick on. All right. So at the top of my check, it says Dr.O my coffee, comma, comma, oh my ink, right? And then at the bottom, it definitely has a category for worldwide, because I plan on traveling worldwide and make that my living condition. And that's my address, because I'm here in the globe. So that lets you know I'm a global impactor, global person, global thinker. I'm also a global citizen. So at the bottom, I put that this is for the generations to come. And that lets you know that I'm not about myself. You know, I'm forward thinking, things like that. And then, of course, I signed my signature on my coffee because I earned that name. My PhD came from my birth certificate. That's my original PhD, okay? Where'd you get where's the doctorate from? I have an honorary doctorate from Global Advice Seminary. And so God's You is what it's called, and it was for philosophy. I also have a PhD in divinity, because I am a pastor, well, rather an evangelist than a pastor, but I do come from a humble background in that way. And then also in the box, of course, today's date is very important. It's always good to be present in the now. You can write a check for a future date, don't get me wrong, and that's okay. But I like to be in the now, in the present, because you can create the future right now. That's a choice we have. And then my number amount. Now, it is $1 trillion. Now, the reason why it's $1 trillion is because I work in teams, I work in impact. And so I've just gathered a bunch of billionaires together. And when you add the monies, then you'll see that it is $1 trillion worth of income. But how we distribute that wealth is what really makes it the trillion, the sound trillion. And guess what? If America can come up with $2 trillion in a matter of weeks, why couldn't we as people, correct? They're pulling it from us anyway, yes or yes. So that's our goal, is to make sure that we're looking at the impact, not just for self, because even when Jeremy said for life, he means for the things that he's going to do. And a lot of that is going to require him joining forces with people like myself and others that he's going to join with. So that's my check-in. That's me.
Now, how cool is that? Oh my goodness. All right, you guys can take that to the bank. I bet we could end this here and you guys could have enough to take you forward for the next couple of years if you apply the principles she was just describing to you guys. But, all right, so you get to hear who Dr. O is and how her mind is right now. But Dr. O, I want you to take us back. Let us hear your origin story. How did you come to be?
Got you. I love that. I really appreciate that. I'm going to start with my older, I would say my adult years, and then just take you back through my childhood, because a lot of people are like, who do you think you are? You know? And I'll just say something my mother said. She's like, you're not scared of anything because you are it. Damn right. I am. And I remember my mom said that. Now, she was mad and frustrated and just thoroughly done with her daughter, and she said that to me, and it hit me, it resonated with me, and I truly went for the gusto that day within myself to say, what would I do to make her say that? You aren't afraid of anything because you are it. And I'm like, I am though. Right? So that was a self-reckoning. And so in my childhood, one thing I can say, and my sister can agree, our mother always taught us about being self-aware and being aware. Awareness was the thing that we got. So we had to minimize it to one word or optimize it up to that one word. It was awareness. So in 2005, I was working for City Financial. I was making 6 figures. My sister thought I was selling drugs. That's how she did my tax. And was like, what are you doing? Where's this money coming from? I worked for City Financial. I was doing collections, and I was just really good at collecting because I always came from an educational, you can do this to pay your bills. If you took this over here and you did that, you could do this. And if you did some crowdfunding, if you asked your neighbor, and if you did that, and somehow people would just feel comfortable enough to pay their bills with me, even when they didn't have it. And so I just had a knack for helping people find ways where there was no way. And so that's why I was doing so well. Now, I didn't know that, but retrospectively, that's what was going on. So I was making six figures. There's that. Then I got promoted. I went into commercial accounts, and now I'm collecting on billion-dollar accounts. So now I'm starting to see how companies pay their bills versus how people pay their bills, the difference between poverty, the difference between wealth, what riches really mean. So on accounts, I'm learning the difference between wealth and riches and poverty. Even in wealth, I'm learning the difference between not being able to pay your bills. So these were companies that couldn't pay their bills. So I'm learning hands-on about the differences between wealth and poverty, but I'm starting to see the similarities, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm in school, I'm married, my son is around 2 years old, I'm doing what we call the American dream, I'm living life, home, dog, cat, all that fun stuff, right? And then it just hit me. My spirituality kind of kicked in at this point, and God told me, put in your 2 weeks notice. And I'm like, the devil is a lie. I'm not putting in no 2 weeks notice. Are you crazy? What? So me and God are having a full-fledged 100% argument. And I'm just like, yo, I'm not doing that. I don't know what that was. The devil speaks too. And so I obey, and I go in, I put in my 2 weeks notice. And so 2 weeks later, the company shut down. That part of the company shut down. Ironically, I didn't know this, but as I go through the journey, I realized that. So now I'm going through a divorce, my first marriage, my first divorce. I'm going through a major situation with my finances. My child is a young boy, so now I'm a single mother, and now I'm in the situation where I'm on food stamps and welfare, and I'm going through the gamut of trying to get on my feet, whatever that means. I'm on unemployment. My income is cut. I had to move out of a big, beautiful home into an apartment, 1-bedroom apartment. So I went from riches to rags, okay? Typically have this, from so-and-so to millionaire. I'm like, no, from thousandaire to nothingaire, right? So, but I became an actionaire. I became so many other things because of this process. Well, anyway, I had a knack for modeling, as you can see. I decided to go forth for my modeling career. I'm way old, right? Like I'm 27, 28 at this point. So I'm way too old for the modeling industry, but I went for it anyway. I started working as a model. I started making money as a model. I started doing everything the right way, if you will, to where I don't have an agent, but I'm going out there, I'm making good money in modeling, and I'm going for what I know. I'm auditioning for different things, and I'm getting selected. I'm getting picked. I'm feeding the homeless with my food stamps. I'm doing good for the community. Katrina hit, so we're helping the people, so on and so forth. So that's kind of my journey. So it wasn't the best, but it wasn't the worst. And at that time, I didn't really know who I was. I just knew what I was supposed to do. And so then I got selected to be in a series, an episodic series, like a Law and Order episodic series in Atlanta, Georgia. And that's when life hit. That's when homelessness hit. That's when them food stamps don't mean nothing. That's when, I was going through a bankruptcy at that time, chapter 12 at that, right? So That's on your credit for 10 plus years, buddies. So I'm really I'm going through this wilderness moment. I'm homeless. I had to drop my child off with his other grandmother. So I'm without child. I'm out here in a new state. I don't know what to do. Men are trying to take advantage of me. People are not believing me because I always, did myself up and put on my hair and makeup. And, I was always looking the part. So people really didn't believe that I was homeless. I'm trying to tell Jazzy Faye. He's laughing at me. I'm talking to T.I. I'm working with Grand Hustle. Ain't nobody listening to me. I was one of the models at MegaFest with Bishop T.D. Jakes and what's that model's name? The gorgeous one that won with the green eyes. I forget her name. It's like one word. But anyway, she was like the first Black girl that got selected for America's Next Top Model. I'm modeling with her. I'm modeling Brandy's hair. I'm walking down the runway with Keisha Cole, but I'm homeless, okay? So I'm going through this series of what we call life transitions, and I'm growing into this new person, and I'm trying to do what my passion and my goals and my dreams are, but I'm hungry. So I wouldn't go to auditions and modeling auditions to get selected for a paycheck. I'd go because I needed some food and some shelter. And, I didn't feel comfortable always sleeping in my truck. And so you're talking about a woman who had to take cold baths in bathrooms at gas stations. You're talking about people that were my friends at the time buying me a hotel room for my birthday. Like, that's how bad it was because, you know, of my condition. And so eventually people actually started listening to me, helping me. You know, I started to share my story more, but I was always in the best of circles. I started meeting a ton of African-American billionaires. I started meeting with celebrities. I stopped thinking about my circumstance and my situation. I started living my life out of my truck. So I accepted the calling to be impoverished. I accepted the calling of poverty. And at the same time, simultaneously, I was also accepting my calling to be wealthy. I didn't know that at the time, but now as 41 years old, you know, 20 years later, I'm like, okay, I get it. 15 years later, rather, I'm just like, okay, God, it all makes sense. I had to go through that because, you know, when you're elevated and uplifted, you still have to have a sense of humility, or at least know what humility is like. I know what it's like because I lived it. And so in that journey, over the course of years, it just taught me to be a better business person, but also have compassion and not always thinking about, because I'm a numbers woman, if it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense. But when somebody comes and tells me about a life situation, I have a heart for that too also. So it's both and, it's not either or. We got to make that money. I'm not going to sit here and listen to you cry, but at the same token, I'm going to have a heart for what you're saying, and I'm going to listen with my eyes, and I'm going to hear with my ear. That means that I'm going to go and process that internally with me, and I'm going to have more empathy than I've had before because I've been there. I know what it's like. So that's kind of my journey on how I've started to grow into this thing by following my passion and my dreams. It wasn't always roses, but at the end of the day, it's what you do with the thorns that really matter. And I just didn't let them get to me that way, right? And it was a process. It wasn't always easy. There were plenty of crying nights. There were plenty of sad moments and all that. And what the heck am I doing? And I need to run back. And, you know, but thank God no one was listening to me, right? Because I needed to go through that to kind of find out what I had in me and not what I was looking for in other people.
That's good.
That's a perspective, right?
Right.
So that's why I wear the shirt that says "Wealth the hell up," because I don't know what y'all talking about.
Guys, I hope you guys are really listening in on that. That is a powerful story. And it's super cool because people, they tend to get this idea of success and they see the successes, but they don't know what goes on behind closed doors. They don't know the struggles. You know, I have a buddy named Trevor who, I mean, ridiculous. His income went from like 80,000 to 100,000 to like 500,000 in a year. And everybody's like, oh my goodness, you're an overnight success. And he's like, it took me 12 years to become an overnight success. And they didn't know the struggles behind things. So I'm glad you're able to open up and tell the stories. But I want you to let these people know, when you were homeless and you were going through those hard times, when people were looking at you, you're all dolled up and gorgeous, and they think, oh man, she's got it together. But behind closed door, you're like, I don't know how I'm going to eat. I don't have anywhere to sleep. Like, let these people know, like, what was it? How did you get through those dark times? What helped you to push through?
Right. Well, perseverance is the key word. I mean, that's the key word for me. Somebody else's word may be faith. It may be, you know, resources. It may be fear, whatever, you know, fear, you know, when we think about our amygdala, flight or flight, we're really have some really amazing chemicals in our brain. I just know that my chemicals all resorted to perseverance, that I had to make it through. Not just because I had a son and a legacy to maintain, but somehow I knew that what I was going through wasn't just, oh my, there was no way. It was impossible for me to be thinking self-directed, self-egotistical, or because if I started thinking about myself, I probably would have went into a depression. And some people do. So I'm not here to knock people that have gone into a depression or go into a depression, but a lot of that is because you're thinking about it from your perspective. The homeless people, I met more millionaires on the street than I had ever met in my whole life. These people weren't necessarily homeless. They were hopeless. They had, you know, cheated on their wife and they felt horrible about it. They had, you know, maybe taken drugs and gotten to a stint of, you know, needing rehab. There were some shame, family shame. Someone died that was important to them. They had money in the bank. They just didn't have a home. And so I started to learn from them from the perspective of, hey, it's not just about this or that. It's an all-encompassing thing. You need it all to make it, right? Run me my roaches, give me my billions, run me that mansion, give me my shack. Everything that I came here to get, I want it all. Okay. If that includes dragonflies and, caterpillars, fine. If that includes lions and tigers and bears, oh my, I want it all. And I think you start to learn that you don't have to be on the street to learn that. You don't even have to be in the White House to learn that. You really just have to go with inside of yourself. And so the thing that kept me persevering was me, my belief system in myself. It doesn't make any sense for you to, even in the Bible, if you're a Christian, it says, you can't just love God. You got to love your brother, the person right there in front of you too. I don't believe you just love God and you're being rude to everybody down the street. How are you telling me that you love the Lord and you cussing out your child and your husband or your wife? I don't believe you, because God should be in there as well. And if you're not, of the Christian faith or a religious faith or a religion background, you still know in your moral compass that there's something inside of you that tells you to continue. That thing, whatever that thing is, that's what helped me through.
Amen. I love it. Awesome. So you guys are hearing it. So in other words, a lot of you guys, and it was one of the things that really helped me, one of my senior mentors taught me, when you're going through hard times, that's when you need to take the attention off of yourself and put it on the other people. And
sometimes the hardest thing to do, right? Like, it's like, wait a minute, my leg is broke, but you want me to go help these people with their broken arms. So we all out here but I love that.
It's crazy because, like you're saying, in the moment, it's so hard. It's like, I got this going on and this and this and this and this. It's like, well, stop thinking about you and think about somebody else.
Right.
My life is on fire. What do you mean think about somebody else?
Right. I love it. That's a good perspective. So is this show, right? Elite perspective, because you're asking for people to kind of think from the top level, right? Think from your top chakra, if you will, or to think from your crown and accept it. It's really about acceptance as well.
Awesome. Well, let me see. I don't want this because I feel like I could just draw this out for days, but I don't want it to go super long. For these people out here that's wanting to just take that leap of faith and do something on their own, how do you suggest they make that first move? What suggestions would you give for someone saying, hey, I want to step out on faith and do my own thing?
Well, number one, do that, right? So many people, Dr. O, let me run this by you. No. Dr. O, let me pick your brain. No. Well, let me tell you about this idea. No. Do it. Show me. Don't tell me, show me. A lot of us get into, especially in the current age of social media and digital mouthing, if you will, we get so used to talking and telling and talking and all that. And I'm very transparent and I don't mind talking either, but I'm doing what I'm saying. So I'm showing you at the same time. So I think it's a bit of both and, right? So if you really want to get something started, do that. If you fall flat on your face, do that. Well, fall good. You hear me? And so some people will, wait for this perfect moment. There's never a perfect moment. I will never forget the day that my child was coming out of my body, okay? So my niece, we were at her second birthday. So me and my sister have twins, right? But they came out of separate wombs at separate times. So we're at my niece's second birthday party. And I'm all day. I'm at Texas Relays. I'm partying in the sun. We're at Chuck E. Cheese or Peter Piper Pizza, wherever we were. We're having ourselves a good time, right? I'm running around and this baby's trying to come out. I'm so silly. I don't even know that I'm in labor, right? And so I'm just having me a day trying to do business as usual. Stop that. That's ignorant to do business as usual. When something comes to shift with the shifts. I always tell people the easiest thing is to shift with the shifts. I'm over here in labor. I could have really hurt my child, and really I did, because his umbilical cord was wrapped around his neck twice. And he almost passed away coming out because I'm so active just trying to be me, or whatever that means, right? I'm a new mother. I need to be thinking as a mother. If I'm a new entrepreneur, I need to be thinking as an entrepreneur. If I'm a wife, I need to be thinking as a wife, so on and so forth, right? So long story short, I'll never forget, my sister was driving and a family friend of ours, Tony, she turned around and looked at me and she said, oh no. She must have saw the worry on my face. She said, oh, no. Whatever that is, he's coming today. So whatever you're going through, he's coming today. Whatever that is, get that off your face. And she turned around like a little angel. And it shocked me to reality. Yo, this child is coming. I've been in labor all day, but I was trying to do business as usual. I wasn't thinking. I'm just going through the motion. So I had to get to a reality check real fast. And here 18 years later, almost 19 years later, I got me a little blue-eyed boy. But the point was, I wasn't prepared. So people tell me, Dr. O, I'm scared. No, baby, you're not prepared. You're not scared. You're just not prepared. So if you got something you want to do, they say do it scared. I tell you one better. Don't even do it scared. Do it prepared. So start making preparations to do, and stop running your mouth about what you want, and start doing what you dream. Start living what you want to really accomplish on the face of this earth, and get to it now. If we don't see nothing else in what this small, tiny, invisible, whether man-made, patented, or real virus is doing, it's here causing havoc on the world. So you are telling me you're not as powerful as this virus? So you need to be doing something. It's doing something. Matter of fact, it's specifically coming in for your respiratory. It wants your lungs. It ain't coming for your heart. It's not coming for your mind or your body or your soul. It wants them lungs. So if it has a purpose and it's serving this purpose, what is it that's stopping you from doing you? And really, it could be your limiting beliefs or other people's beliefs. And so you've got to really go in hard and start doing and acting. And as you're acting, not only are you asking for help, you're showing people how you can help them with the thing that you're doing. I know that's a lot, but that's the thing that you really need to get active, if that makes any sense. If I didn't say anything else, please get active.
Awesome. And that's really what it comes down to. A quote I heard, well, actually my mentor told me this probably about a month ago, and I'm going to take his mentor's approach of, he always says, the first time he quotes somebody is, such and such always said, and then it's, I know someone that once said, and then the third time is, I've always said. So I think I'm at that point where I'm about to steal his quote. But he said, most people think they're working, but in reality, they're not working, they're just thinking. And I'm loving it, because that's what holds so many people back. Because like you're saying, just get active, just do something.
Yeah.
People, they try to overthink it. Like you're saying, oh, let me run something by you. And you're like, no. It's like that paralysis by analysis, that detail-itis holds so many people back. So I love it. I love your story about being prepared and just going and going. And it's really what it is.
Everyone has a different way too. I've learned to respect other people's way. It's not going to stop me from being who I am or how I do it, but I like listening to other perspectives. But one thing I know that has worked time and time again, no matter what your perspective is action. And action has no season. One of my mentors, Dr. Michael B. Roberts, he wrote a whole book, a series about action has no season, because it doesn't have a season. I'll never forget my son, he was young, and he said, Mom, a writer's job is never done. I'm like, dang, I want to finish these books. Gosh, I want to finish these films. I want to finish these movies and these projects. And God, my son stopped me and was like, a writer's job is never done. Meaning you're going to be doing this. You're going to be active with this for the rest of your life. So don't get all worried about right today. Start being active. Continue to be active, and just do the work that is in you. Die empty, right? Like at the end of the day, this child was telling me, die empty, Mom. Let it all out, And guess what? You won't be able to do everything. You're going to need some help. Think of that now. That's called preparation too, right? You know you're going to need all these billions of people on this planet. You're going to need some help. Now, how you go about that may need some tailor making, but for the most part, you're going to need help in other people. So keep that. I always tell people confidence is a part of your business plan. Make confidence a part of your strategy, and you've got to be confident in self first. And then you've got to find confidants also. So everybody's not going to buy your product. Everybody's not going to want to help you. Everybody's not going to come into your business. Everyone's not going to invest in you. Some people might connect you to the next thing that leads to the next thing, but you better stay active.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Awesome. And now we're going to jump into one of my favorite parts of the show,
Yay.
quick game. We call it
Okay.
Elite Instincts.
Okay.
And basically the way it works is I'm going to throw out a word to you, and you have to react with the first word, ideally one word, that comes to mind after I throw this word out. So you ready?
Can I close my eyes and be a weirdo right now?
Sure.
I'm focused. Go ahead.
All right. Boss.
Me.
Equity.
All.
Social media.
Interesting.
Risk.
Protection.
Network.
Me.
Shopping.
You said shopping or shocking?
Shopping.
Money.
Asset.
I almost said me again, but I'm going to say when I hear asset, honestly, I hear legacy.
Like that. Branding.
Marketing.
Wealthy.
Health.
Life.
Living.
Growth.
Development.
Dr. Oh my.
Smiles.
Awesome. Well, you heard it, people. Mrs. Smiles herself. Awesome.
Good game. I love it.
I appreciate you playing the game.
Yeah.
There's nothing else but just to roll out the red carpet for you and let the people know what you got going on, what they should be on the lookout for.
Gotcha. Well, the highest, most hugest thing right now, of course, we know, besides everything that I offer in business, is COVID. We have a business partnership with Nexus Labs. I'm an independent partner in this opportunity, but Nexus Labs is based here in Dallas, Texas, and we basically provide the COVID testing kits for people. If you have insurance, of course, you can utilize your insurance, and if you don't, we have low-cost COVID testing that you can purchase. We have the kits that you can purchase from us to check and see if you or your family members have, the virus. And then we're basically working on that. But the lab itself, delves into cancer research and other laboratory services that are necessary. And that's just one of the biggest things that we're pushing right now because of the epidemic, the pandemic, and just what's happening in the world. And I want people to know, like, there's help, there's work. I know the news is doing this thing, but, here's this organization that I'm proud to be a part of, honored to be a part of. And I'm so happy that I've partnered with them to work on this way before the situation happened. However, because of the situation, now we're in a very forefront opportunity and a very underground opportunity that we're bringing up to the public eye, which is that, hey, we have COVID tests that you can, go to our website. I'll make sure that the link is posted during the airing of what we're doing. But the key is Nexus Labs has the COVID test kits, so you can check yourself to see if you yourself have it. It also keeps you from the risk of going to the hospital, maybe being exposed. In those kind of ways, you can do it at home. You can do a pre-screening as well online to try to see kind of where you are before you even purchase the test. So if you have the money, you can buy it. If you have insurance, you can get it. There's ways to, kind of come through this thing and not just rely on what's out there, but also, start looking at how we all can step up. So that's one thing I want to definitely, it's a serious matter. And I want to let people know that we do have that opportunity. And because I'm at the ground level of that opportunity, what an honor. And also at the same time, what a big charge that, we have. So that's on the serious level. So I'll do a pause right there because that's a pause for the cause. But I do want you all to know that we are working our butts off night and day, and just got a huge contract with San Diego with 79,000 senior citizens that are able to get the test kits. So please know that there are people on the ground working regardless of what the news is or isn't saying. So that's that. And then I know it's a big deal, but that's that. And then also going forward, We have a wonderful opportunity called Ground Zero that we'll be doing here soon with a group of strong, powerful influencers that have been working, you know, some celebrities, of course, you know, marketing and digital influencers that have really worked the mess out of the internet, and they're all coming together in a collaborative fashion because we don't want people worried about, you know, how they're going to pay their bills and eat. We want to kind of help you out with some honestly some tools and resources to kind of get through this thing and get over so you can get through to the next level. So we have the Ground Zero summit coming up for you, and so we'll make sure to share that information with Jeremy and his platform. And then the last but not least is my favorite thing ever, which is the Board of Literacy. It is 2020, so every 20th of the month we're always doing a free webinar. Well, it's donation only webinar. Even if the donation is 25 cents, y'all can help the children. And so it's donation only webinars that we do on the 20th of every single month. And so I'll make sure to share that website link, but I'm always posting that information. We're on Eventbrite, so if you go to Eventbrite and you look up the Board of Literacy, the information is on there as well, but it's on our website, theboardofliteracy.org. And so, or you can text me at 209-441-OMAI, and I can get you the information directly. So we always have something going on. We're always connected. I sit on the boards of several organizations, including Texas Black Pages. So if you're in business, we can help you with that. So we've got a lot of things going on, but the highest, most important thing right now is our health and our well-being. And that means our mental and emotional health as well. So we want you to know that we've got some, what I call black up. I love my white brothers and sisters and my Latinos and other people, but we have some black up for you out here because we are definitely working together in a collective fashion. And I love seeing the African-American organizations coming together to help out on this global situation so we can be a global force as we are.
Awesome. So you guys heard it from her, a bunch going on. I'll make sure we put some links in here.
Yes.
You guys, check out everything. No, get the tests.
Yeah.
Test yourself. Make sure, be careful. I know, like, especially people like me, we think we're invincible and we're just so immune. It's not going to be that bad for us. But if you're carrying it and you go to your loved ones, your grandparents or your kids, you know, it could be really bad if they catch it from you. So it might not be bad for you directly, but don't forget about everyone else you're coming in contact with.
That's good.
So make sure you guys check out the links, check out the webinars, get to the calls, follow Dr. O. I can guarantee you she's going to continue to bring you incredible value. Yes. But we hope you guys got a lot out of this. Make sure you like this, share it to anybody you know who can really find value from this. And share it to anybody. I'm pretty sure anybody can find value, even if it's just in them having access to the test or make sure you get the word out. And other than that, we hope to see you guys on the next episode.
Yay!